whatever you want to create, you can. So there's no limitations on what can be created. It's only your imagination and what you want to achieve into your life.
You are described as, quote, making the impossible possible. So in that field, what does that mean to you?
That's true, actually, because I have no limits. Like when I visualize something or when I want to create something, even if it's like really challenging, and a lot of people are sometimes are telling me it's never gonna happen, you can't make it, we can't make it, and I'm like, no, we can. Like I don't believe in limitations. I believe in like you set your own limitations in your life and into your work. So I always looked and thought outside of the box. And I was really blessed as well as a child because my parents always brought us to like art and culture was very predominant in our family and into my education, especially and so since I was a child, and I used to go with my parents to museums and they used to explain to me, like what is this and all the different things. And so I understood that basically from a young age that whatever you want to create, you can. So there's no limitations on what can be created. It's only your imagination and what you want to achieve in your life that basically can set you on a level or on a sort of like a path or a vision of what you want to have in your life.
But I can imagine there's people listening to this around the world right now who, whilst being impressed with what you have done and accomplished, would say, "Well, yeah, of course you can accomplish things if you have the resources, if you have the money." How much of making the impossible possible it has to do with having the resources to be able to do it, or is it about creative vision?
It's not about the money, actually, at all. When I started working, I was living in India for a couple of years as well, and I was going to like Jaipur into different workshops or in Makrana and like marble inlay factory, like like workshops, and I was sitting there trying to understand, like what kind of like material can be used, and they were like, you can't mix marble with, for instance, like with metal, you can't mix this with that, and then I was like, why not? Like, who says no? Like why not? I want to try it. So then I started trying these things. So and then it worked. Like a lot of things. Like in those days they were like, no, you can't do that, and now like everybody's doing it. So I think it's not about the money. Of course, when it comes to very large projects, money is important to be able to create. When you have an event for 10,000 people, I mean, of course, you need to have the financial support behind it to be
Right.
able to deliver. But when I started doing these things, I started like even the events that we started doing. So actually, some of the most beautiful events that I've done were the humblest budgets that we
Mm.
had. Sometimes it was even a party for a friend of mine, or some, so where in the foundation where we actually like we created an event for people who couldn't afford to do it, and it was the most beautiful event. So it's not about the money. Money, of course, is important because you need to, like when you're building, from scratch palaces, of course you need to have the money.
Right.
But I believe that it's the use of material and it's the use of like what you can create that makes the wow effect, or makes something
Mm.
that is different
Mm.
and out of the box. Because otherwise, you can have a lot of money, and like you can give it to everybody, and not necessarily they're going to create something that is extraordinary.